Welcome to North Jersey Living. I'm Ross Hyman. Today we're in Glen Ridge, New Jersey. We're going to be talking about Glen Ridge, the history, and I'm going to point out some landmarks in the area. We're also going to be taking a look at three homes, one at the median price point, one above and one below. But before we do, if you like videos like this and you'd like to see more content, please like and subscribe below. You'll be the first to get our new content. Also, Greg Nicholas and I, Greg's my business partner, we help people buy and sell real estate in northern New Jersey every day. If you would like help buying or selling property in northern New Jersey, please feel free to contact us by texting, calling, or setting up a Zoom call with us. All that information is below. Now let's get to it. Okay. So here we are at the first house in Glen Ridge. And before we talk about the house, I want to tell you a little bit about the history and a little bit about the area itself. Glen Ridge is a New York City commuter town. It's about 15 miles west of New York City. It was originally part of Newark when Newark was founded in 1666, and it was within the boundaries of Bloomfield. So Glen Ridge was essentially just that. It was on a hill in a glen, hence the name Glen Ridge, but it was merely a section of Bloomfield. Now, in 1812, Bloomfield became its own township, and the Glen Ridge came with it. It wasn't until 1895 that Glen Ridge, the residents of Glen Ridge, were upset at the Bloomfield Council because they weren't providing the services that they wanted. They needed paved roads, they wanted water service, they wanted sewer service, and so they voted and created their own borough. Now, most of Glen Ridge was originally woodlands, and there was a little bit of industrial. There were actually three mills that were on the Tony's Brook, which is actually right in front of the ridge itself. And those mills were water powered. That's why they were there. They produced calico, which is a printed cotton fabric, and what else? With lumber, and there was another one. It was paper boxes, like glued paper boxes. So there was some industry here. That is no longer the case. Ultimately, when the railroads came in the late 1800s, the railroads came in, and from that point on, it became developed as a residential area to what it is today, which is a beautiful, beautiful area. Now, a couple other details that are worth noting. Glen Ridge has some unique features. One of them is the gas lamps. The gas lamps were brought in after World War II, and those gas lamps were salvaged from New York City when New York City stopped using them. Currently, today, there are 667 working gas lamps in Glen Ridge. And what's really fascinating about this is that, now these are literally burning all day and all night, and we'll show you what they look like. But those gas lamps are very unique in this country. In fact, there are only 3,000 working gas lamps in the entire country, and 667 of them are here in Glen Ridge. So that's one of the features that makes Glen Ridge truly unique. And those are their night lights. So when you're driving around at night, those are the lights that illuminate the streets, are these gas lamps that never go out. They have a flame 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So, very unique place, really beautiful homes. The architects that developed this area were really thoughtful and creative, and we're going to show you what that looks like. Okay, now that we got the history out of the way, I'm going to go right into the details of this house. Now, this house is listed currently for $850,000, which is below the median of approximately $1.1 million. It is a 4-bedroom, 1 full bath, 2 half bath home. Now, you'll see that it's the lawn is not cut, the grass isn't cut. It's a little bit behind on the maintenance. So interestingly, this house has been sitting for 30 days, which is very unusual in this area. These houses sell usually within a week or 2 weeks because there's so little inventory. In the case of this house, in fact, right now there are only 3 houses on the market in Glen Ridge, and 2 of them are under contract. So that is a really unusual situation. I suspect, we haven't been inside, but I suspect that there's probably some work that needs to be done. Nonetheless, It's a 4-bedroom, 1 full bath, 2 half bath colonial. It's got a 2-car detached garage. It's got central air conditioning and heating, and it's 1,776 square feet. Now, at the price that I told you, $850, it's about $478 a square foot. Keep that in mind as we look at the other properties. I'm sure that this house will sell for a good price. It's going to probably be fixed up and be worth a whole lot more, because the houses in this area are so limited that when people get them, they put money into them and then they increase their value tremendously. This is an unbelievable place to build equity. And incidentally, the taxes on this house are less than $16,000 a year, which for this area is very reasonable. So it's a great property if you're looking to invest some money and make an even better house and build some equity. And it definitely needs a little work, you can see, but there's no reason that anyone wouldn't invest in a property like this in Glen Ridge. Even if it needs a whole lot of work, it's worth it to put into into these houses. Now, I did want to point out one other thing: is this is on the main drag in Glen Ridge, which is Ridgewood Avenue, and so you might hear cars going by behind us. That is one of the things that could be detracting from it, but there are some mansions and some big estates on this road too. So hard to say, but it's definitely probably the most trafficked road in Glen Ridge, other than Bloomfield Avenue. And well, time will tell. We'll see what it sells for. Incidentally, one more thing: most of the houses in Glen Ridge sell for, on average, 20% over the list price. So it's something to keep in mind for this area when you're looking at property. If it's, you're looking at the list price, keep in mind that they typically sell for 19 to 20% more on average. And so let's take a look at the next house now, and we'll tell you more about Glen Ridge. All right, so here we are at the second house. Now, this house is was listed, it's sold actually, for $1.1 million. It was listed slightly below that at $1.075 million. So that's not a huge amount over list, which is, I mentioned at the last house that houses typically sell for 20% over list. So this house was priced better, in fact, at closer to a realistic number, and it sold for $1.1 million. Now, this is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath colonial, and it is approximately 1,978 square feet. That works out to about 500 and something, 546 a square, 558. I'm not exactly sure, but it's in the mid-5s per square foot. The other one was in the 4s. So you can see how that, the houses get, as they go up in price, the price per square foot still increases as well. And you'll see that in the next house even more so. Now, this house it was built in 1924, and it was renovated in 2017. It's got 2 HVAC units, so it's got a 2-zone system. It's got a 2-car detached garage. It's got a fireplace and a living room. It is since it's been renovated, it's definitely more of the type of house that you'll see in Glen Ridge. Most of these houses people have invested in already, and they are going for $1 million plus. So you can see behind me, it's a beautiful place. It's got a beautiful landscaping. Everything is done. It's got an eating kitchen. It's got all the interior has been renovated. So this is a great example of what you get in Glen Ridge for the median price point. And you'll see, even that the street itself, everybody, all the neighbors keep their properties really clean and well maintained and landscaped. So it's on a beautiful, quieter street than where we were before. That's a big part of this. Also, the lot is slightly bigger than the lot from the last house. The houses are spaced out a little bit more on this street. Now, that's about it for this house. We're going to take you to the next one. But before I do, if you want to see more videos like this, you want to be the first to receive our content, please like and subscribe, or feel free to text us, call us, or set up a Zoom call so Greg and I can help you if you're planning to move to Glen Ridge or northern New Jersey, or planning to sell your home. So let's take a look at the next place. Okay, here we are at our third and final house. This one is spectacular. This is a 6-bedroom, 3.5 bath, Queen Anne Victorian, built in 1910. Now, this house sold for $2.3 million, but was listed for $1.9 million. Ultimately, fetching about $614 a square foot. The reason that this house garnered such a high price is because, number one, it's on a very big lot. It's a corner lot. Number two, the architectural details in this home are unparalleled. This has all the nicest finishes. It's got the Viking stove. It's got, the Sub-Zero appliances, things of that sort. It's got wide detailed molding. It's got marble fireplace surrounds, and there's several fireplaces too. It's got multi-zone heating and air conditioning. It's got a huge back porch and garden area. This is exactly the type of home that people look for in Glen Ridge. This is the quintessential Glen Ridge home. And you can just see behind me, you can see how beautiful it is. This was, it was a turn of the century mansion, if not, for lack of a better word. And this is the type of place that aristocrats, politicians, business people, entrepreneurs bought when they wanted to have a home outside of New York City and wanted to be able to get to the city. So when the train was added in the late 1800s, that afforded this type of home to be built here, and gave the business people from New York City a place to live that was more suburban and more friendly for having family and friends over, and ease of getting around and so forth. So this is a gem of a house, and you can see why it got $2.3 million. We hope you enjoyed this showing of Glen Ridge and the houses we've shown you, and learning a little bit about the history. Don't forget, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, please like and subscribe, or feel free to reach out to Greg or myself to have a consultation if you're buying or selling a home in northern New Jersey, or specifically in Glen Ridge. And with that, we'll see you next time.